here she is. Wishful thinking. It's our Ultra4 car from last season. The plan was to take the 2020 race season off and build a new rock bouncer and come out in 2021 with a new one. I got to talking to Phil over at Liberty Mountain Fab, Shock Jesus, and actually Ross Pilgreen, we talked about it. Me and Stan over at Brannock talked about it. With a few changes, we thought we could turn this old Ultra4 car into a pretty decent competitive rock bouncer. So that's the route we ended up going. We ended up taking about 18 inches out of the rear end and about 12 inches of height. There used to be a 25-gallon fuel cell. There was a great big oil cooler and a humongous tranny cooler up here we got rid of. They were for the long distance. We don't need that. For hill climbing, we built a new fuel cell. Moved it up front. Local guy here, Mark over at L&H Welding. We managed to maximize capacity in a very small area. So the idea was to get as much weight off the back and move it as far forward as possible. So we lost about 400 pounds total. It used to be 56% of the weight was on the rear and 44 up front. With the changes, it is now 50.2 up front and 49 in the back, and perfectly 50-50 left and right. So that should help out tremendously. Another thing Phil and Stan talked about was a front sway bar. So Stan spec'd out a new front sway bar. We got it on here, and that should have been the very first modification I ever did to this car when I bought it. It drives totally different. Very noticeable difference there. Another thing that we talked about was gearing. So we went from a 1.5 in the transfer case to a 2.13 for hill climbing. We were running the BFG last season for Ultra4, and we wanted more traction. Well, as soon as Mickey Thompson announced they were coming out with a 40, I knew that's the tire we wanted to try for sure. The Sticky Mickey, the Pro X 40 inch 1350/17. It actually measures taller than advertised, which is very uncommon. It measures 40.25. Like your 43s will normally measure 41.5 to 42, so we're excited about that. And what little testing we got done, I mean, these things are sticky. They hook like crazy. Harder than any other tire we've ran. Pretty excited about that. It's powered by a Show Me Speed built 427 LS3. 13 5-to-1 compression. Estimated 725 to 750 horse. Ballistic Fab hooked us up with some parts. We built new sway bar links because we relocated the rear sway bar. So we built new links for that. Everything was bought there. It's a one-stop shop for your builder parts. A bunch of gussets we added when we redid the whole frame. The receiver hitch in the back, I actually built a mount that slides into there that'll hold a spare tire and a jack, so we can take it hillside, pull it off, set it off to the side just in case we need it. I got a hold of Willwood. We went with a different master cylinder upgrade. More stopping power, a little bit harder on the brakes, but more stopping power. Since we're not running for hours on end, we can do that. PRPs, new spec'd out limit straps for the back since we totally reconfigured everything. Phil got me set up right with new spring rates. So we gained a little bit of up travel front and back, gained some ground clearance. We're getting ready to head down to the Krog compound. We're going to do some testing down there at Larry Krog show. We're going to have just a good old trail ride. There'll be more footage of that, but there she is, guys. We're excited to get out and play with this Ultra4 car against some of these new high horsepower bouncers. Race season's starting to come back to normal, so we're looking forward to it.
good day for me. Remember 11, know that watch big buggy videos, razor videos, full videos. Remember 11.